Patriots recap week 16. Patriots lose 33-21 to the Buffalo Bills, falling to 9-6, and now are no longer the division leaders in the AFC East. As we normally do at the beginning of each of our episodes here, we just kind of go over some of our thoughts on the game and the gameplay. So I'll let you go first, Ron. I'll let you go first.
You sure?
I don't know. If I go, I don't know if you'll get
I
the opportunity
am
to.
completely disgusted in how they played. I can't even pinpoint what the problem was today. They just didn't show up to me. Like they knew what Buffalo was going to be like when they came into play after what happened to them last time. They knew Buffalo was going to be ready. They knew Buffalo was going to play tough. And to me, it looked like they ran away.
So I look at it this way. The worst thing that happened was that game in Buffalo because we were a bully. Came in, you ran the ball 46 times, you throw the ball 3 times. You're basically saying you can't stop us. Ha ha. What happens when somebody stands up to that bully? That bully's not as tough anymore.
No.
We saw it last week, and now you saw it again this week. You can't do the same things over and over again and expect the same result. And basically, they couldn't run the ball like they did 2 weeks ago. It ended up costing them this week.
Right.
My biggest complaint, though, wasn't even on the offensive side of the ball.
No.
Defensively, how do you not get off the field at all? They had 0 punts in the game, Buffalo. 0.
Well, I remember the last drive that the Patriots had, and the Bills had, and I remember it being 3-10. And I said, "This is the biggest play of the game, right here.
Yep.
You have to stop them. If you don't stop them, you'll lose." And
And
what happened?
The little flip
They
to
didn't stop
Diggs. Yeah, the little flip to Diggs, and Diggs ends up making sure he gets 12 yards. I just disgusting. 35-25 in time of possession, so almost a full quarter. Buffalo had the ball longer. 28-20 in first downs, 428 yards to 288 yards.
Yep.
Key 6 for 12 on third downs for Buffalo, 3 for 4 on fourth.
Yeah.
New England 1 for 10 on third. 1 for 10 on third downs.
Yep.
You're not going to win the game going 1 for 10 on third downs.
No.
I don't know who this kid McKenzie was, but 11 receptions for 125 and a touchdown for Buffalo. And all I kept seeing was Bryant getting beat.
Oh, he was terrible. He was
and
terrible.
How do they not bench this kid at some point? I'm talking to one of my buddies, and I'm like, why is he still on the field?
He couldn't cover a glass jar.
No. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. That's what I said, right? It was ridiculous. So the first losing season at home for Bill Belichick since 2000. They're going to have a losing record at home. So they haven't played well at home at all.
No, they stunk.
And can I just say,
and I'm going to compare him to another local team we have. No, not the Red Sox. No, not even the Boston Celtics. I'm going to compare them to the Boston Bruins because apparently the Patriots team now thinks that they can turn a light switch on and off at will and think that's going to solve their problems and win a game. Well, it doesn't work for the Bruins, and it certainly did not work for the Patriots because, for one, they never had anybody turn the light switch on.
No.
They forgot.
No. Defensively, look, Matt Judon, the last 2 games, irrelevant. Haven't seen him at minimal plays at best. So, J.C. Jackson, 2 opportunities today where the balls hit his hands for him to make an interception and drops both of them.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting any of those key plays. I didn't even see him trying to punch the ball out today. Like, they're always
there was nothing.
well coached.
There was nothing.
Josh Allen kept fumbling that ball around every time he's running. Not one attempt to punch the ball out.
Nope.
Like, I don't understand. And I'm also going to talk about, and I'm not blaming them, but this was a very poorly officiated game.
Oh my God!
First
of all, that play with Mac Jones where he pushes him out of bounds, and then yanks back at him, could have broke his leg, and no call, and then they call one on the Patriots during all the arguing.
Yeah, because Trent Brown was yapping. That was a worse egregious offense than what happened on the sideline. Absolutely didn't understand that. And then when Mac Jones with the slide, And then Dave Andrews is basically just trying to protect the kid and say,
Right.
look, get away from our quarterback. And you throw a flag on him as well.
Right, for taunting. He wasn't taunting anybody.
It's
He was telling them to
ridiculous.
back the hell off.
The officiating in that first half
It was
with that
awful.
with that call ended up hurting New England from a standpoint of they were probably going to score on that drive. They
Right.
would have had a chance to get 3 points and at least keep this game close. So I'm not blaming the officiating because, again, at the end of the day, you still got to make plays and you still got to overcome that. But I did not like the officiating in this game today.
No.
I just thought they were soft. They let little things bother them. Somebody's talking. They talk all the time.
Yeah. There was a lot of things wrong with this game. And come Lighthouse Awards, I don't know if I have 3.
Well, let me say this, Ron. Diggs scored on a touchdown. And I guess CBS didn't blurt it out fast enough. But he's pointing at all the fans. And he's like, you, S my D. That's not taunt. That's not a penalty. There's nothing. So you can basically say what you want at any given time, except when you're trying to protect a player.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just outrageous.
It's just asinine. It's
the league needs
asinine.
to fine him for that. I'm going to tell you right now, that should be a fine.
It should be because it's. I mean, really, it's kind of just as bad as like flipping the middle finger. It might even be worse.
Well, we're going to call out fans now. We're going to have fans escorted out for having signs or saying something to a player. Then the player shouldn't be able to say it back to a fan.
Right.
So, listen. At the end of the day, New England's in there holds their destiny in their own hands. They need to win out the next 2.
Right.
They're still in the playoff race. They still have an opportunity.
And all in all, Eric, is it a bad thing if they're going to play on the road?
No, they play better on the road.
Exactly. That's
They're
my
6-1 on the
point.
road.
So this actually might be better for the Patriots. It's probably not.
I like how you
because because playoffs is different.
Yeah.
When you go in somebody else's stadium as a visitor in a playoff game, that is not easy to overcome. So, and who are they going to end up having? If they stay where they are now in that 6th spot, you're going to end up playing the 3 seed, which right now, I believe, is Buffalo.
It might be. Yeah. Actually, it would be Buffalo. Yeah.
So you're going to have to go play in Buffalo. And what kind of a game are you going to show up with? Because we know what Buffalo's going to show up with.
Yeah. Listen, Josh Allen's a legitimate quarterback. We knew it. We got lucky in Buffalo with the weather, and it worked to our advantage. But I think they got a little too cocky with it.
Yeah.
Like, throw the ball 10 times. I would have been okay. At least you're not showing. You basically disrespected them.
Yeah.
And look, at the end of the day, hey, Faceless, thanks for joining. So we talk about McDermott and being a sore loser and not giving Bill Belichick credit. He told his team this week, they don't respect us. We need to go in there and punch them in the face. We got to give it right back to them. And he made this game personal on all aspects of that game. Listen, they just kept going foot on 4th downs. They were like, you know what? Try to stop us.
Right.
You can't. And they did what we did to them running the ball. Every time we ran the ball, they couldn't stop it. Guess what happened every time they were in 3rd and 4th down? They made sure they got first downs. He did the same thing in a reverse order to them. So I hope they actually figure this out because they got a game they should win next week. And if we're on this show next week and they've lost to Jacksonville, it doesn't
matter.
It's not going to be pretty.
Oh no! If they lose to Jacksonville, I don't even want them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Period.
And the funny thing,
you can't lose to that team.
Ron, we made fun of that team last year and how bad they were with Cam Newton. They still won more games at home. Like he still won. Cam Newton won more games than Mac Jones has on at home.
Yeah.
It baffles my mind.
And Mac Jones didn't play well at all today either.
No, Mac Jones didn't look good. As I was in the game texting one of my buddies, and we're talking about the fact that it looks like he's always backpedaling now. Seems like he's afraid of the rush or getting hit, or he's got happy feet now. And I don't know when that started, but the last 2 weeks for sure, you've seen him. He's not really putting his foot forward and throwing the ball with some emphasis. It's more of a back pedal and trying to throw off his feet. And the mechanics don't look right. And I don't know what that is or why that's happening. We've talked about the rookie wall and him possibly hitting that because, again, in college, you don't play as many games, right? So
You don't play as many hard games either.
Yeah, right? Especially Alabama. Like, how many hard games were they in? And now, you know what I mean?
One.
Yeah.
That's why I don't watch college football
Yeah,
because, like, the schedule is just a cake.
And we want to listen. I think the kid's a good quarterback, and I don't want to say he's not going to be a great quarterback, but I think we anointed him way too quickly. Like, we were winning 7 straight, and it's like this kid can do no wrong. And the last 2 weeks, and even if you want to include the Buffalo, listen, there was a reason they only threw the ball 3 times. They didn't have confidence that he could do it in that kind of weather, whereas Josh Allen was still slinging the ball in those
that's
wins.
The problem, Eric, because to me, when you don't let him throw at all, that's a lack of confidence of what you're going to do. It's just like going for it on 4th down instead of kicking the ball. Like kicking a field goal, from 45 yards. You don't have confidence in that kicker to make it, So you don't, and you go for it. It's the same thing. Like, maybe he's questioning himself right now. And then after 2 losses, now what is his mindset?
Again,
So I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah, and I think, look, it's the same thing Brady ran into. Who's he really throwing the ball to? Jonnu Smith, did he even play today? I know he got a penalty.
He got a big penalty.
Yeah, right? So that was it. No ball. I think 1 or 2 balls thrown his way. Not a factor. Hunter Henry, who we basically were going to say the next Gronk, look at every time they're in the end zone, the red zone, he scores a touchdown. Non-existent today. Kendrick Bourne didn't get a catch till the 4th quarter. I'm so happy he got off the COVID list because that really helped benefit us. Like, N'Keal Harry, the poor kid, I mean, he's trying, but even he had that big drop. And, I don't know. Jacoby Myers is our best receiver. And if you look at it, he's probably a 3rd or 4th on any other team.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
They didn't do well on the wide receiver position. Let's look at some numbers real quick. Mac Jones, 14 for 32, 145 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Overall grade today.
A D+.
See, I would give him a C-.
No.
I don't blame him.
I blame him for a lot of it because he was behind the receivers a lot. Like
that receivers off.
That first pick,
Yeah.
He clearly missed. He missed.
Yeah. But you also got to look, the defense really didn't give him opportunities to get back on the field to do anything. And they were playing from behind after, you know what I mean? You're down.
I know that. But still, you can't excuse all the missed passes.
All right, I'll give him a D+ as well. I think D+, and that might be accurate. Damian Harris, 18 carries, 103 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did all he could to try to keep them in the game.
He was awesome. He was look, I'm not even going to hide the fact of my Lighthouse Awards. He was the only guy that seemed to show up.
It was easy to put on the list for sure. And I didn't start him in fantasy because there was a question he was even going to start. So I'm probably going to lose my playoff game. So I'm really excited about that as well. Jacoby Myers, 6 receptions, 59 receiving yards, no touchdowns. Only guy really on offense when they threw the ball that seemed to at least try to catch it.
Yeah.
And he was getting beat up. He did way too much across the middle. They're going to get this guy killed.
Yeah.
It's not looking pretty. Miles Bryant, though, 9 tackles in the game, and I would hope so because the guy that he was trying to defend had 11 catches.
Yeah. So he was chasing him down at least 9 out of 11 times.
Pretty much. 0 sacks.
Didn't stop him from getting anything.
No. 0 sacks, 0 interceptions today. Nothing really to speak of on the defensive side of the ball.
There was nothing.
I don't know. I mean, as we normally do at the end,
McCarty had a nice play.
Yeah. Okay.
1.
Yeah. Let's go through these Lighthouse Awards real quick. So at number 3, who did you have? Come on, run. I had
I'll go. Seriously, who do I give that to? I'll give it to Barmore because he was overworked, and
although he did have that stupid penalty, that real dumb penalty.
Yeah, no. There you go. So I don't have a third place.
I went Kyle Van Noy. I went Kyle Van Noy. I thought he was in the back. He made some nice plays, Kyle Van Noy.
One
And
play.
he definitely controlled. He kept Josh Allen in the pocket. He did his job. The best tackle I saw was J.C. Jackson on Hightower when they were trying to stop Josh Allen on that 4th down, and J.C. basically took out Hightower. That was great. Best tackle I saw all day.
Yeah, so I don't have a third place.
No third place. Number 2. Do you have a number 2?
I guess Myers.
I went with Myers, Jacoby Myers. That's who I went with as well. Listen,
and that's just stretching it because, like, look, 59 yards.
Yeah, 6 catches though.
He was just tough. He was tough.
He took a beating. He
did.
Number 1, we both agree. Damian Harris has to be the number 1. Only guy that really showed up today.
Yeah. So maybe I can put him in his first touchdown at number 3, him in his second touchdown at number 2, him in his third touchdown at number 3.
Yes. All right.
So there we go. So there's my top 3. Damian gets the nod.
So let's dive a little bit before we end this show. Coaching. Listen, we again 7 straight. We talked about the genius. We talked about Belichick and Josh McDaniels and everything they're doing right. When they start to do some things wrong, we also got to look at that coaching. They didn't seem prepared last week.
Nope.
Against the Colts. They didn't seem prepared today against Buffalo. That's your coaching staff.
And that's what I was having a hard time with how much fault of Mac Jones is on that offense. Because I'm looking at the play calling. There was nothing for Hunter Henry, really. You know, there was nothing. Like, I didn't even see any, like, hardly any, if any, screens.
No,
like they're accustomed.
They tried a couple that Buffalo blew them up. Even the jet sweeps where they run with Bourne around the edge, didn't see that.
And I don't understand why they didn't do any of that stuff when, you know, it would work.
And even listen, defensively, did they really call? I mean, Steve Belichick. I mean, it seemed like they were in zones at the wrong time when they should have been in man, and then when they were in man, it seemed like they should have been in zone. Like they just couldn't figure it out. And then the lack of blitzing, and when they did blitz, it didn't seem to work. Like it just nothing.
Yeah, I didn't see many blitzes at all, and not at the right time if it was supposed to happen.
I kept seeing Judon.
And I don't. You know what I don't understand also. At the beginning of the year, I want to say at least the first 10 games, it seemed like Judon was in charge of that defense. I don't see that right now, and it feels like there's a shift on who's controlling that defense out on the field.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember who it was. It might have been Hightower going up to Judon and telling him to get onto the other side, and lo and behold, it went to the side that Judon was on originally. And I don't like if they switched that off, because I thought the defense was playing so well for most of the year. And if you're going to change that dynamic, and it seems, I'm just going to say, it seems like it was in the last 3 games. That switch.
Yeah, something with Judon. I don't know what happened.
And now it's like Judon isn't effective.
He seems tired all the time. Like it just seems like he's up. And then even when he's rushing, like I don't see that same, burst. No. But at the same time, I saw him a lot in zone today. Like they kept pulling him out and just having him drop into coverage, and it's not what he's good at.
No, he's a pass rusher.
Yeah, he's not going to play your zone the way you need it. And it's almost like they're trying to experiment now to use him in different ways to try to make him into something that he's not. Let's make him this hybrid where he can rush, but then he can also.
It all comes down as the paranormal activity starts.
See,
it all comes down to, again, using your players to their best abilities. It almost seemed like they regressed and went away from that and just trying to fit them in what we want to do.
Yeah.
Instead of what they're good at.
If I had to hear one more time on the broadcast about how Josh McDaniels uses guys for their strengths, Well, a lot of these guys don't have any height. They really don't.
I'm actually sick of these like C and D squads calling the games. Like,
Iron
look,
Eagle, baby.
it's just brutal. It's
Iron
like
Eagle.
the-
Charles
I don't know
Davis.
how many times I heard that the Bills are so injured. It's like, wait a minute, don't the Patriots have a bunch of players out on defense too? And don't they have some
Yeah.
players out on offense too?
Offensively, yes, they would definitely.
And they were like complaining on how they don't have any receivers, but they have Diggs in there, they have Emmanuel Sanders in there. I mean, who are you missing? Davis
and Beasley, the kid that replaced Beasley, probably would have had a better game than Beasley would have had. It's just I don't know.
So it's like I just don't like the broadcast either. I want to turn the volume off and just go with that. And I am going crazy over here.
Look at you. Oh my goodness. So as we end the show, Jacksonville next week. Obviously, we'll break it down on Friday on Sports Unfolded. But I don't want to say easy win because there are no easy wins. But the Jets just beat Jacksonville as well. Do we even expect this to be a conversation of next week of us losing this game?
If we lose to Jacksonville, I probably won't watch the last game of the season
Against Miami? We already know that that's probably a loss. They need to win next week. I can't.
I mean, we haven't sunk as low as losing to a Detroit.
Yeah, Arizona's a mess right now, but
not yet. We haven't sunk that low. But if we lose to Jacksonville, then
it's pretty close. You lose to Jacksonville, it's pretty close to losing to Detroit.
Yeah.
And honestly,
well,
at least
doesn't Detroit have a couple of wins now?
Yeah.
Didn't they win?
I think they won again today.
That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah, I think they got more wins than Jacksonville.
So, I don't know.
All right. So, if you enjoy what you watched, check us out every Friday night at 6 p.m. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You can follow us on social media at Sports Unfolded on Facebook and Twitter, at Broadcasting RI on Twitter, Sports_Unfolded on Instagram. Don't have time to watch, listen to us on our podcast on Amazon, Anchor, Google, and Spotify. We're on again every Friday night, 6 p.m. We do a live show. We're interactive with our fans. So if you join in, we'll definitely talk to you. And then also we're looking for sponsors. So if you guys would like to sponsor the show, we have a wide range of opportunities to get globally because we are not just a local. We are on the World Wide Web. And email what you see there, Rhode Island broadcasting.media@gmail.com, and reach out and we can give you all the information on how you could sponsor our show and what we're able to do to obviously, advertise for your business. Ron, tough loss. Again, Pats 33-21 loses to Buffalo, fall 9-6. I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about on Friday. Appreciate your time.
Last one of the year. Last one of the year.
Yes, he is. We're going to season 2. You're so excited.
I am. It's really exciting. Season 2.
Season 2, episode 1. Coming up in 2 weeks. All right, my friend. So I will see you on Friday. Everybody that's watched live, thank you. Everybody that's going to watch afterwards, appreciate you. Check us out. Follow us on social media. Ron, we'll see you on Friday, man. Take care, and we're looking forward to those NHL non-changing rankings for next week.
Yeah, they're already with you right now.
Right.
You already have the rankings.
I love it. All right, man. Peace.
All right. You have a good night.